Fog wraps everything like wet muslin. I see a fluffy little thing twitching near the roots there. Glimminess settles like old tea on everything. I swear this island only knows how to trap poor creatures. What a perfectly plump little fellow that is. Does he think I've got biscuits or something? Wilson. Sunshine is so bright it feels like someone polished the whole sky just for my grand unveiling. Keep watching, buddy. I bet even that deer thinks I'm a master builder. Do you remember the time I tried to teach Wilson how to whistle? Well, I gathered up all the dried reeds and fashioned a sort of mouth pipe, the kind you see in old picture books. I puffed my cheeks out, making my face look ridiculous, and blew with all my might. Nothing came out but a pathetic little wheeze, like a winded bird trying to sing its way home. I spent the rest of the afternoon just blowing into the shells, hoping for some sort of proper tune. Shadows crawl everywhere like spilled ink tonight. Look at that bunny just sniffing my food. Wilson. Gentle fog hangs thick as river smoke. Look at that deer just standing there, staring like he's cataloging my wardrobe. Wilson. Curious how this gray drizzle settles right into your little stitched-on face. Wilson, do you think the deer is judging my roof pitch tonight? Raindrops patter like spilled beads of glass on this new roof. I remember the sheer triumph of setting that first controlled blaze. Wilson. Blast it all. This damp earth has snagged me like a particularly stubborn piece of fishing net. Wilson. I shall yank myself free before the tide washes my boots away completely. Damp mist clings like a shroud to everything. Even this little rabbit seems confused by the gray curtain. Wilson. Crimson streaks of sunset stain the fog bank. Wilson. I think I'll go over to the eastern retaining wall and reinforce those support timbers again. That whole section needs to look absolutely solid for any passing captain to see my efforts. Look how these walls stand against the falling flakes. Wilson. This tower will make any passing ship think I've built a whole coastal fort. Wonderfully soft drifts blanket the forest floor. Look at that magnificent stag just stepping out from the snow. Wilson. Blossoms carpet the ground like spilled jewels. That goat just tipped its head as if asking for directions. Great undertaking. Remember back home, the sheer press of it all, the endless rhythm of the deliveries. I was once entrusted with 1,000 small moments, each one needing to arrive precisely when the clock struck. I remember one particularly awful afternoon when I had to deliver a baby's tiny, embroidered shoes. The box smelled so sweetly of lavender and dust. Just as I reached the doorstep, the scent was overwhelmed by the sharp, metallic tang of a passing tram. I thought, that was it, the moment the routine finally snapped. White powder settles over everything like powdered sugar. Even this big cow seems unimpressed by the snow's blanket. Marvel at these sturdy walls against the falling powder. They look like they could withstand a whole fleet of warships. Wilson. Sunlight catches the polished sheen on the tide pools. They look like scattered pieces of broken rainbow glass. Crimson hues taint the far tree line now. That fox is watching us with eyes like polished amber beads. Smashing this heap of sticks feels like scraping away old, dusty cobwebs. This new section needs a grander, more imposing entrance. A little bunny just plopped right down beside my foot. Wilson, does he need directions to the biscuit stash? Perhaps. Blast it all, my ankle was snagged on something wicked. This whole blasted terrain is trying to swallow me whole. Wilson, I swear I'll claw myself out of this muck like I'm escaping a runaway cargo. Stupid earth grips me tight like a greedy hand. Wilson, I'll tear myself from this mess, even if I have to use these lovely little bones as hooks. Look at this creature, just standing there with eyes so big. You remind me of Wilson when the tide pulls out. Wilson. See how the roof lines angle so perfectly against the dark sky. Wilson, It's going to make a proper welcome beacon when the dawn breaks. Tomorrow, I think, I'll build a proper observatory on the highest rise, Wilson, to chart those beautiful, indifferent stars. Stars spill across the water like spilled glitter. Wilson, it's an ocean full of tiny, cold diamonds tonight. Little deer just nibbled on some moss right near my sandals. Wilson, this whole corner is too cluttered. I must clear it for the grand library entrance. When the deluge hit, I couldn't see my own hands. Wilson, I just felt the grain under my fingertips in the gloom until I carved 3 things out of the salvaged driftwood. One is probably a ladle, another is just a smooth chunk, but I know the third was meant to be a proper little boat whistle. Remember the day I found that big piece of cedar, the one with the perfect, deep curve? I thought it was just wreckage, nothing special at all. Wilson. Then I started carving, just picking at the edges until the grain started to reveal itself, almost like secrets trying to escape. The air smelled so sweet that day, like wet honey mixed with salt spray, which was a strange and beautiful scent. By the time I was done, it wasn't just wood. It was a tiny little boat, a perfect cradle for dreams. Now I just keep it right here, a reminder of what patience can build. Good heavens, this patch of dirt has snagged my very boot. I am trapped like a moth in sticky amber. Wilson, I will yank myself free with the brute force of 1,000 lost shipments. Curious wolf just eyed me like it held all the secrets of the mainland. Wilson, does it want to know where I hid the emergency biscuits? My foot catches on this wretched root. I'm anchored like a shipwrecked anchor in the mire. Wilson, I will rip myself free of this green cage. You hear me? Look at that young beast just grazing over there. A cow, isn't it? Doesn't it look like it needs a proper fence built around it? Wilson.